Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Well, I got the stand set up really early this morning so that I could just drop my daughter off at school and then head over to a local nursery. Around this time of year, kind of in early to mid-September, I really love to go shopping for shrubs and perennials to add into my garden. A lot of times things are discounted this time of year, and also I think it's a great time to just go to the nursery and look around and see maybe some color you might want to add into your garden in terms of foliage. Maybe it's what I'm doing today, adding some winter interest into the garden, whether that be an evergreen, a red twig dogwood, or a winterberry. So I just think it's a really nice time to get out there and shop. So what I purchased today over at Hillside Acres Nursery, if you're near the area and you want to find some really beautiful shrubs, it was just phenomenal visiting there this morning. But I purchased a Berry Poppins winterberry. I already have the Little Goblin Orange winterberry here in the main flower walk, and I also have Mr. Poppins, the male, kind of buried here to my left, because you do want to make sure if you're purchasing a winterberry that you purchase not only the female, which is the one with the berries, but you also need to purchase a male. And that's really the reason why I wanted to make this video today, because I've gotten a lot of questions and calls at the extension office, and I tend to even overhear at nurseries people talking about their winterberries not blooming, and they're really disappointed in that and they're not sure why. And I completely understand. Let's face it, if we buy a winterberry, we want it to get berries at the end of the day, right? So let me just talk you through some reasons why your winterberry might not be blooming, or to hopefully set you up for success right from the start if you're just getting started purchasing a winterberry for the first time. So as I said, the most important thing is that you need a male and a female that bloom at the same time. So this one is Berry Poppins, so I want to go ahead and either purchase, or I already have in my garden, Mr. Poppins or a male winterberry that blooms at the same time. So you need a male and a female. The next reason is that maybe someone has a male on their property, but it's either not blooming at the proper time. Maybe it's an older variety that blooms very early and then your female blooms very late, or vice versa. So it could be a bloom time problem. It could also be that they're not planted close enough. You really need the male and the female to be 50 feet away from each other, no more than that, in order for the bees to do their work and proper pollination to occur. And the one other thing that could have happened, especially if you have an older winterberry on your property, and maybe it's quite large. I remember my grandma had a winterberry on her property, and it must have been 15 by 15 feet tall and wide. It was really, really big, and it was beautiful. But sometimes people will want to size control those shrubs. And if your winterberry is blooming, it has flowers on it, and you choose to prune it at that point in the season, you're essentially cutting off all the blooms and basically therefore all of your berry production. So that could be a third reason, but probably less common. Really, the most common reason is just not having that male. And I'll tell you what, I wish nurseries would do a little more advertising around the winterberry section. You know, a big sign that tells you you need to have a male along with the female. Because of course when you go there, especially this time of year when you can notice the berries, you see this beautiful shrub, you put it in your car, and you think nothing of it. And then come the next year, you have to wait a whole year to figure this out, right? You say, hey, wait a second, why doesn't this winterberry have any berries? So I really hope that spares someone that experience. So with all that being said, I'm just hoping to have a little bit of fun today and go ahead and plant this over in the driveway garden. I really wanted to get a variety that stayed on the smaller side. This one says it only gets 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, and it's pretty much 3 by 3 feet at this point. So I think we'll really have a clear indication of what it's going to look like over there moving forward. So now let's just go have some fun. Well guys, I'm so glad to have some more winter interest over in the driveway garden. It's something I'll continue to work on in the months and I'm sure years to come. But before we go, I wanted to show you the Little Goblin Orange Winterberry holly because I've had this in my garden for 3 years. It's pretty much at its mature size. I would say it's 3 by 3 feet tall and wide. It says 3 to 4 feet tall and wide at maturity. And it's just a beautiful shape. I've never pruned it at all. I've just let it do its thing and it gives me this beautiful load of berries every winter. And I just wanted to say too that this is a great plant if you get a lot of rain or if you have an area in your garden that just kind of stays moist for one reason or another, because this is actually considered a bog plant. It's a North American native as well and it's deer resistant. And I used to live in Western Pennsylvania where it was very common to look out your window in the morning, especially if I was over at my grandma's house. She had a lot of deer. We would look out the window and there would easily be 5 deer out there. They really did seem to leave the winterberries alone, so that's something great also. One other thing that someone called me about once is that they could tell they had a winterberry on their property. You know, they must have used a plant app to kind of take a snapshot of the leaves, but they weren't sure if it was a female or male. And the only way to really tell is to take a look, of course if the berries aren't there, is to take a look at the plant in the spring when it's blooming. The female will have a green berry in the center and the male flower will have pollen anthers. So that's how and when you can tell the difference between male and female if you're not sure early on in the spring. Well guys, I hope this video has been helpful. I would love to hear about plants that you love for winter interest, especially anything more kind of rare and interesting that you're excited about. Because like I said, I'm always interested to add more winter interest into my garden, just so that the garden is always bringing me joy no matter what season we're in. So I want to wish you guys a great day out there in your gardens and of course, happy gardening. Bye!